Alright guys, here I am back with another video. I'm gonna show you, and I'm gonna work on my vehicle also, but I'm gonna show you guys everything that I've picked up lately in the last 2 to 3 weeks to get all the body work done on my vehicle. You guys already saw I got a compressor, and I've already started building a little bit of a workbench for myself. But here I've got sandpaper, 320, 80, and 120. That's all you need when you're working with body filler. So body filler and glaze. So right here it's a Cubitron hook and loop strips. Goes with the hook and loop Durablock set that I have here. It's a great set. Most people in this industry know that, you know, Durablock's a very reputable brand. So here we got our Durablock set, hook and loop, 6-piece. Comes with some nice cool little soap, if you see right here, and they also gave me some samples. Okay, and also we got our Polyflex glazing putty, which you use on bumpers and stuff, things that usually flex. Then we got our finishing glaze by Platinum Plus 3M, some of the best glaze I've ever used. We got some blending putty, which is a little bit more of a finishing after the glaze. But we've got right here the big stuff, the best stuff I've used so far. It finishes almost like a glaze finish. It's Platinum Select Body Filler by 3M. Very great stuff. I've also got 800 and 600 grit DA paper. So this is what I'm going to use after I do the priming. So this is literally everything you need other than a primer and a priming gun and obviously a compressor to be able to get your car and do all the body work at home. All right, and then painting and stuff, that's a whole different other class, but I'm going to get there also. So I'm going to show you guys what I got and how you guys can pretty much do it at home yourself. So this is just a start, and I hope you guys really like it. Let's get it. Also, I just wanted to mention to you guys that this cost me about, let's say, $2, $4, $6, $60, $2, $4, $6, $60, about $60, about $15 a piece, and $50. So you guys can add that up and how much it really got, how much it cost me. But there's also always, like, see, I'm used to already working with the best materials, with working in the body shops and stuff like that. But you see, there's always a more economical way of getting things done. And you guys know that we always want to do the economical thing because we're just weekend warriors. Guys, just a little update on N54 issues. My coolant reservoir is actually cracked right now. I was actually scared for a second. I thought maybe my brother told me that by the description that I gave him, you know, I came and I popped this thing open and it was fuzzing. And I looked at my cap. My cap had a little bit of a buildup of a milky. You see that? And I was like, oh man, did I blow a head gasket or something? And it was felt like it was overheating. And when I took this out, it was fizzing, it was popping, and right here it was leaking. So I guess my coolant reservoir is out. On to our next order of business. My battery went out, and now my starter won't even work, even after trying to jump it for the last 5 minutes. Look at that. Alright guys, so now I'm moving on to my quarter panel and rear right door. I'm gonna go in there, do a little tapping on some of these high spots, as you can see right here, and right across this edge, across here, and up in here. So I'm gonna go in, do a little tapping, but overall it should just be glazing and a little bit of sanding down, and this will be ready for priming. So we're continuing this. I'm going down, sanding down all this body filler right here. So this is normal body filler, the Platinum Plus filler. So it's really good stuff. It lays real clean. Right here, I was just I waited and I got distracted and it was a little thicker. So you saw right here that I wasn't able to get a nice clean lay. Some people, you know, it's a real big pet peeve of theirs, but I was taught that, you know, as long as it works for you, it works for you. And this is gonna work for me just because I was just trying to build up here. But I usually don't lay like that. You guys saw over here, I laid a little better over here. I do have really bad spreaders right now because I don't have a die grinder to clean them off. So I'm just lightly sanding them off after each use and making sure I clean them while everything's still wet. So just so you can see right here, I'm sanding this all down, getting it nice and smooth. What I do have trouble with is up across this whole edge. You can see this high spot's already showing right here. So I'm going to be trying to be delicate and see if I can almost blend into there, so I can use a glaze to get in there and not have to build the high spot into here. Instead, I just want to be able to almost blend it all nice and smooth. So that's pretty much what I'm just trying to do. You know, this isn't a classic or anything. I'm just trying to get it done right, you know. So for me, this is right. So cost efficient and time efficient. So I'm gonna get this done. You guys, I wish I could give you guys a little bit more of a montage while I'm working, but I'll just cut another break and then show you the update. An update. What you got right here is I came through, sanded all of this down, and I built this right back up, and I've got this nice line. Now you guys will be able to see better on the camera. You know, sometimes it looks better on the camera, but you'll be able to see I reshaped right here where it was all wavy, the body line. So if you guys remember, the damage went like this, and it caved this in right here and caused this issue right here where it was all caved in all across. So also what I'm gonna have to do is do one more layer, hopefully of just glaze, do a little tapping across here and do a glaze layer that's gonna go all across. Then we got over here, I fixed that door. All this is all blended in nice and smooth, and it just had the problem of over here this high spot and this low spot right here. Now I checked the backside and I realized that this low spot was not created by high spots. There is a little bit of a high spot just because there is warpage, but I did some tapping. But this low spot is created by an actual low spot. So I came in from the back, tapped it, and hopefully now I brought that low spot outward. So now I have a nice good starting point for another layer of filler. This is just filler, not glaze. And then I'll sand that down. Then I'll go through with some glaze from Platinum Plus glaze. So that's this one, and I'll keep you updated. I perfected this this edge right here, so now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna bevel this. Now I will be having to do another layer here, so I will actually wait on that. So let me take that back. I'm gonna wait on this, and then I'm gonna have to bevel this and make it more of a soft edge. But I did get my body line right back in, and I'm very happy about that. All right, guys. So I'm here on the jam. And what I'm gonna end up doing is, as you can see, I already started it, but I'm going in, and this is where it was buckled in. If you remember, it was caved in right here and it buckled in the inside of the door jamb. So what I'm doing right now is I did some tapping already, and now I see more high spots. Obviously I didn't perfect it, but I wanted to fill in what I could just to get a good start. And then I'm going to go in, tap this more, and see if I can get almost a near perfect finish on this jamb. Again, this is my personal car. If this was a customer's car, I would do it 100% perfect. But I'm just doing this for, you know, time's sake and everything. And I'm going to go in and just get some Bondo on my fingers after I've tapped this down, go through, run it through the jams, and then sand it down, and then take a look, and then repeat and repeat until I get a satisfactory result. All right, guys. And then I'm also going to lay right here. So let's get into it. Sand it down this door, and it seems pretty good. I'm running my hands down it, and it feels real nice. So I got a few like little pinholes and little areas that need to be filled in with some glaze. I'm not sure if I'm just gonna spot glaze it or I'm just gonna do a thin layer all across the panel. I'll probably be doing a thin layer all across the panel actually, just to make sure. It's always good to do a full layer when you're not sure and you don't really need it in one spot. I actually have a few spots, and I don't want, since this is all Bondo, I don't want to cut away from what I don't want to cut away and then create waves across the panel. So that's what I'm going to end up doing. Also, it is drying on this side where I did lay some mud. I laid all across here, and I'm blending in that high spot that I tapped down and blending it back into the panel. So that should work for me too. Also came in, did some tapping, and also filled in some more, doing it again. And like I said, I'm just gonna keep doing it until it comes out to my expectations and my satisfaction. So I'm bringing you guys over here to this side of the quarter, the driver's side quarter to be exact. I have this body damage right here. I know I already showed you guys, but I have some body damage right here. So I had a ding right here and a ding right here, and it was kicked in right in this spot. So I brought it out already, but I might still have a low spot. I have this taken out so I can push it in and out while I work on it. I didn't really want to take off the whole bumper, but you usually would. But right now, I just wanted to show you what it is. This is pretty bad lay, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna go in, sand this down, and make it look all nice and pretty, and then go from there and see if I have to do another layer. Hopefully not. So I'm gonna be delicate about how much I cut off. When you're working, you know, like me, with a smaller budget, and not at a shop, you know, you got to be more cost effective. And I say even at another shop that's not even yours, be cost effective, because that's how you get your raises, you know. So I'm gonna go in, sand this down, and get to working on seeing how if I have any low spots, high spots, and how I'm gonna get this done. All right, guys. So this is what I got left with. All right, guys, so this is what I'm left with. What I ended up doing is I went through and sanded this all down, rebuilt this body line, as you can see here. I will go back and soften it, because as you can tell, this is a very soft body line, but it's there. So I made it as a pretty aggressive body line, but I'll soften it later. All that I needed was to really get that distinct body line in there so I could get this all done. As you can see right here, though, I got some high spots. So when you guys go through and do this, you guys got to understand that sometimes there's hidden damage, because I explained it right here. This was kicked in and it went in and it almost pinched it like this, which this metal has to go somewhere. It's not like it disappears. So it pinched and it pressed itself like this, and that's what I'm guessing created these high spots right here. So also this car was lowered when I purchased it, so it could be also that this was being banged up and this just slowly crunched up upward and built these high spots right here. So another thing you guys always need to understand is when you guys go to these professional body shops, this is why this costs a lot, because you go to these economic people and they won't do this for you. They'll just leave it. They'll do what you told them, and that's it. Or they'll just bondo over and build everything up, and then you won't get more of an OEM finish. You'll get, you know, a body shop finish that you can tell off the road. But I'll go in and I'll tap these high spots down, and just a pity I didn't see it before, so I'll have to do another layer. But either way, I was probably going to try to blend in and feather sand this in and get this done. But it's just another step I'll have to do. So let's get into it. So right here, I did another layer. Sometimes it can be a little frustrating. You know, you put another layer on and it feels like, oh man, I completely restarted. You know, I'm back to square one. But it's not technically true. Don't get frustrated with this. It's a process, because I mean, you could have been the person that says, okay, whatever, I'll let that go and I'm okay with that. And then you fuss about it later after the car's been painted and you're looking at it. It's like, oh man, I should have just taken the moment to finish it. And another thing is, sometimes just consider it building. You're building up to the stage that you want to be. You know, it used to be really low right here, and right now that last one was my building, and I built up, and now I'm just perfecting it. Also, remember, Bondo's always body filler is always cheaper than glaze, and I'm just using my body filler, and I would have had to use extra glaze just to fill in those those high spots. So think about it like this: I'm also saving money. So save time, save money, but work efficiently the best you can when you can. I recommend, you know, if you want to make sure that this whole area didn't have any hidden damage, you grab a DA and your orbital, and you just go in and sand all of this panel up to, you know, a reasonable area, and then check it all out. You'll be able to see it, trust me. I didn't do that just because I was just always in a rush and stuff, so that's my bad. But if I was in at work or something like that, I would sand this whole panel, make sure that the whole thing didn't have any hidden damage, and then go from there. So this is it. and I'll give you an update when I sand this down and get it all done. I'm almost ready to prep in the next day or two. I'm just doing little by little, you know, also working on the house while we're in quarantine. Hope everybody's being safe and wearing your masks, but let's get into it. All right guys, another thing I want to show you guys is this. Very easy. Came in, did a couple passes, and I saw it from a distance. You know, you start to learn and you'll be able to see these damages, but this is PDR right here. Very, very, very crappy PDR, but you can see the tips where he went in with a pick and knocked out this quote unquote body damage and created more body damage while he was in the process of it. Very bad PDR also on the hood, but this is how I'm finding them. I go in, I kind of take a look. This roof is pretty bad already to begin with, but I can already tell that there's something right here too. I'll be able to find it. I'll go through and I'll sand this down. Like, see right here, PDR, PDR. So I'm just gonna go through, fix all those areas. A roof is always a pain in the butt, but I mean, I'm gonna paint the roof black on whichever color I choose, and a black always shows the body damage, so the waves in it. So, and this car's gonna be pretty low and stuff, but you're gonna be able to see it when you walk up. Like right now, it's at my chest height. You see? Chest height. I don't want that. So nobody wants to see the waves in your hood or anything like that. So it just takes a second, you know, to really go in and get this done. It's only gonna give me, you know, I'm just gonna have to tap this down just a little bit. It only takes me like maybe 5 or 15 minutes, and then put a little glaze over it and sand over, and that's done. So also there's another area over here. Let me show you guys where it had very bad PDR. This one's even worse. Real bad PDR. I also laid another layer right here just because I realized that after I sanded down to 400 grit, which I will explain in the next part of this, that you sand upward and you work out the sanding marks. I'll explain that more in depth later, but I cut a little bit too much of the little bit of Bondo that I had there and created a divot again. Not as bad as it was originally. And the other people probably would have just let it go, but this is the front end and this is the picture angle, so I am going to get that done and make sure I get it all perfectly fixed. All right guys, so let's get this done and move on to the next part. Cold start. Guys, so another reason why I really love this set of Durablocks sanding blocks is the 6-piece is about $50, but you get 6 blocks. And right now, a lot of people always say, like, you know, don't use this flat block because it bends really bad. But look, see this? It's pretty stiff, and it gets in there on the curves when you really need them to get on the curves and everything. I really love them. I got in here, started sanding. I've got this all just about all finished up in this area. Just got to go down, sand it down, and get this better. Right here, go in, get more detail on the sand, and see if I can do probably one more layer of build up, and then go in here, cut, and do a couple more taps again. So then this door, you guys saw the montage. It's perfect. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. It's ready for priming. I've already got the primer and everything. Now I already sanded this front end up here. If you take a look, I already sanded this all down. That hood's ready, and now it's just roof. And I think I'm gonna do a touch up a little bit more up on the fender up here. But other than that, we're getting real close, guys, real close. All right, guys, so onto the PDR part of this car, the really crappy PDR. What I can tell you is I'm gonna have to drop that headliner, go in, put a dolly in the back of the, I don't know if you guys understand what a dolly is. A dolly, if you guys aren't familiar with bodywork, is a big chunk of like metal. It's like a little metal block, especially designed for different applications. Now this one, I put a metal block from under the car up behind this right here. And then I take a hammer and I hammer down on it and I flatten this out. Right here you see PDR on that hood, on the front end of this, right on the brow. So it's really ugly. It's really deep, actually. He didn't do a good job at all. So what I'm gonna have to do there is also do the dolly, drop the headliner, and get in there with the dolly and hammer it up, and then hammer it flat. So remember, whenever you're doing this body work, the metal it doesn't go anywhere. It's still there. So it has to go somewhere else, creating high spots, such as right here, a high spot built up right here, and a high spot all around. And here's a low spot right in there. So you can see it, and it creates more of a surface tension. So I also want to be careful about not creating a tin can on the roof, which is what surface tension does. It makes the metal tin can. So there's pressure, let's say on this side and on the wrist, and it starts going like this. It starts tin canning. So gotta be careful about that. I gotta get the body hammers to get this done. So we're moving on to priming. So I also got to talk to you guys about prime. So I'm doing a 2K primer. I usually do 5-star extreme, but I will be doing finish 1. So this is the activator for the 2K primer, and this is the actual primer. So I got the finish 1. Never used finish 1 before, but I understand that they're a pretty good reputable brand. So this is a 2K urethane, and this will suffice completely for everything. So what I will mostly need it for is the door and the body panel right here. And I also need to go get a Harbor Freight gun. So I'm gonna go get a Harbor Freight gun. They're not the best, not as good as those the Vilbus siphoning ones, but I will be using the Harbor Freight one just because it will work for me for what I need it for, the application and cost efficiency. So that's where I'm standing at right now, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna end the video here or I'm gonna show you guys priming. But either way, like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.